wasn't going to come up here and make a video about this whole situation, about Nico Harrison getting fired yesterday. Because at the end of the day, we all kind of expected it. Nico Harrison's time in Dallas was going to come to an end, especially after the Luka trade. After the firing of Nico Harrison, a lot more things started to come to light. And Patrick Dumont has been throwing Nico under the bus. But we all knew that everyone in the Mavs organization was involved in the trading of Luka Doncic. But they needed a fall man, a guy at the face of it all, and that ended up being Nico Harrison. But don't get it twisted. Nico Harrison is not innocent in all this. It's not like they told him and he just did it. No, he was also the one who orchestrated it, but got approval from everyone else. Nico had his faults. The Dallas Mavericks are in shambles. Let's talk about it for a little second. So quickly recap. Obviously, the Mavericks traded Luka Doncic at 11 p.m. February 1st of 2025, a trade that is regarded as the worst trade in sports history. To this day, that trade is aging like milk. And now fast forward to November 11th, 2025, about 9 months-ish removed from the original trade. And now Nico Harrison was fired yesterday morning. And everyone thought, it is what it is. We knew it was happening, especially with the Dallas Mavericks struggling as of the second. Dallas finds themselves as the 14th seed in the Western Conference, 3-8 in the Western Conference. And now with Anthony Davis missing time again and again, and Kyrie Irving not really having a clear timetable to return this season, and Cooper Flag dealing with growing pains as a young rookie, and then with Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford missing extended periods of the season, and Lively has yet to play since the first 3 games of the season, the Mavericks are looking in shambles. Klay Thompson has been bad, and D'Lo has also had his flashes of being bad and good. He's too inconsistent to really tell. And now, fast forward to the now, and now everything's starting to unwrap onto itself after Nico Harrison's firing. Step 1 of why Nico Harrison is the fall man. After Anthony Davis got traded to the Dallas Mavericks, everyone knew he had a calf injury. That's why the Lakers were going to rest him to probably after the All-Star break. Nico Harrison didn't want to listen. He was urging AD to come back sooner after he got to the Mavericks. As we see from this article from The Athletic, it says here, Monday loss to the Bucks marked the 6th straight game Davis has been missed with the left calf strain. Multiple league sources said Davis has tried to convince the Mavs to let him return to the court, and Harrison urged him to return, but the team's medical staff forbade it, citing the potential for a torn Achilles if Davis returned too soon. Yes, AD and Nico were pushing for AD to return, but AD as a player and a competitor obviously wanted to turn to the court. But if your GM is also urging the medical staff to let you come back too, that is on the GM. Davis getting hurt again is on the GM and not Anthony Davis. Because a competitor and a person who's trying to prove himself, obviously you want to be put in the situation to redeem yourself. But in doing so, with the GM pushing the medical staff for AD to come back, and then AD missing a following month after that, after just playing 2.5 quarters, that is on Nico. Things like that is why it makes my blood boil seeing things like that. He is a terrible GM up until this point. This season right here made Nico Harrison an all-time worst GM in history. Up until this point, up until this year, he was a decent GM. We traded for Daniel Gafford, traded for PJ Washington, and even the Kyrie trade, and signing Klay Thompson on a pay cut compared to what Klay wanted with the Lakers and the Warriors. So you got the best of everything. Even though, yes, you did let Derrick Jones Jr. walk in free agency. Yes, you did trade Kristaps Porzingis, but it wasn't really working out. And Jared Brunson wanted too much money that you could afford. It is what it is. But you made up for it. You still made a championship competitive team. And just because Luka got hurt one time, you shipped his ass out to LA. And by the grace of God, the Dallas Mavericks landed the number 1 overall pick in Cooper Flag. And getting Cooper might have drawn some fans back. You might have been a little optimistic after getting Cooper Flag. Little did you know that getting Cooper Flag, he wasn't going to be Wembanyama. He wasn't even going to be Luka when Luka first came. Cooper needs to grow. Cooper, yes, he might be a great talent, but talent needs to develop. Not every talent come into the league being a dominant player and kind of evolve off of that. We've seen the growing pains of Cooper Flag. He is 19 years old. He's actually turning 19 years old. He is still an 18-year-old right now. You have to cut him some slack. Right now, he's averaging 15 points per game, shooting 42% from the field, and 26% from 3, shooting 89% from the free throw line. So you have to give him some grace. And being put on the Dallas Mavericks, or the big spotlight being put on the Dallas Mavericks, trying to see if Cooper Flag can really replace Luka Doncic and draw the fans back in. But as we see, it's not doing that. AD got hurt again. Kyrie, no timetable. So therefore, Cooper is left alone. And now everyone's watching every single move Cooper is doing. And he's 18 years old. So the scrutiny is going to get to him. He's going to have a lot of bad games. He's going to really shoot really bad from the field some games. Because Jason Kidd is not putting him in the position where he needs to be at. He's giving him the main ball handler role. You're not giving him time to adjust. You're not giving him time to adapt. You're just telling Cooper, here, save us, bring their fans back, become Luka. That's not how this is going to work. They're not giving him the grace as an 18-year-old. They're playing him as if you are the superstar now. The franchise is in your hands. At 18, that is hard to handle. But they're not understanding that. Nico Harrison said, time will tell if I'm wrong or not. Bro, it's over. You messed up on the Luka trade. There's nothing that you can do that will resolve in it actually working out. And now, after this, right after Nico Harrison got fired, guess what reports are coming out saying? Teams have started internal discussions about pursuing a trade for Anthony Davis. There's going to be Anthony Davis trade talks for some seriousness. Whether they result in a deal or not is impossible to say. I would bet on yes. That comes from Zach Lowe himself. But Zach Lowe saying that Anthony Davis is most likely going to get traded under this new regime. Whoever's taking part as the new GM clearly understands that this team lacks direction. With two aging stars in AD and Kyrie Irving, both have injury problems. You know that their timetable isn't now. It's time to move on from this timetable of Anthony Davis, Cooper Flag, and Kyrie before it can really begin. Because you putting him at this high expectations of Cooper, this big ass spotlight, is not going to work out for him. Cooper may be a generational talent in the future. As of right now, he's just not that. And it's clear to see. And even on top of AD being in trade rumors, apparently there's chatter around the league that the Mavericks could move on from Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. As this article came out this morning, it says this: the 32-year-old Anthony Davis finds himself at the center of the league-wide speculation, and that he might be the next to go. Irving, whose contract runs concurrent with Davis's, including a player option for $42.4 million in 2027-2028 season, finds himself in a similar situation. The Mavericks are looking to move on and wipe their hands of the whole Nico Harrison situation and kind of start fresh with this new regime, kind of move on from the whole Luka AD thing and kind of push in a different direction, which basically is building around probably Cooper Flag and Derek Lively. Those are the two young assets you really have. And Max Christie, those are the three main assets you have. You have to maintain those three and build an adequate team around them. And I believe Klay Thompson will be the first domino to fall. Because we all know Klay Thompson came to Dallas in order to play with Luka Doncic. He even took a pay cut to leave California because the Lakers offered him more money, but he wanted to go to Dallas to play with Luka. And how big of a coincidence is it not going to the Lakers because you want to play with Luka just for Luka to end up in LA? So now Klay Thompson is thinking it up out there in Dallas, and partly because he can't hit his shots. He's been shooting terrible from the three, which is his main specialty realistically. If you're not hitting threes, what's the point of you being out there? But also he came there with the idea that Luka Doncic was going to be the one setting him up and not D'Angelo Russell. You feel me? So you understand why he's not really fully in it ever since the Luka trade. He came there from one person and one person only. That person goes to LA, and now he's stuck with D'Lo. Trust me, I was stuck with D'Lo for a year and a half, 2 years even. I understand how it feels to be stuck with D'Angelo Russell as your starting point guard. It's not really fun, and he believes he's better than he actually is. D'Lo just ass, right? He's not a contending player. We knew that from the start. But enough about D'Angelo Russell. What do the Mavs do now? And I think they figured it out. Let's just build around Luka, build around Cooper, like I said. Get rid of the vets, get rid of AD, get rid of Kyrie, and let this be Cooper's team and rebuild for a couple years. Get some picks, some draft capital, some young assets in return. Where do you trade him to? Who gives you the assets back for AD? Because no matter what, you won't get the same production as Luka Doncic. So you're kind of stuck in a pigeonhole situation where you have AD and you have Kyrie, but what really is their value because of the injury history? You kind of tank that yourself by not letting AD really recover. Even right now, he's still doing calf injuries. We are in November of 2025. He first hit his calf January of 2025. He even put on weight for some reason throughout the offseason that probably made this calf injury worse. So at the end of the day, AD still dealing with calf injuries 10, 11 months later, and then that has to raise some eyebrows. I think right now there should be the main focus should be making sure Anthony Davis is fully healthy. Do not rush him back. Keep him out extended period of time. This actually reminds me of a similar situation that happened last year. If you guys don't remember, Luka came into the season kind of a little bit out of shape, more out of shape than usual. They rested him for a week because it was his hand that was bothering him. A lot of people didn't really believe that. It is what it is. Luka came back a month later, hurt his calf. I feel like it's a repeating process in Dallas. Why they're gaining weight, why the Luka, why the AD gain weight, who knows? But now it's looking to be the same situation all over again. And whether or not the Mavs can bounce back. And while you guys are still here, do me a favor. I'm live almost every night on playback.tv/Joey's Room. The link will be in the comments down below. Oh my God! Oh! Wiggins! Wiggins! Does that count? Does that count? I'm live almost every single night watching Laker games, wherever games is going on. So join up. I'll be live tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time to watch the Lakers and Thunder play and see Luka versus Shea and see if the Lakers can give the Thunder their second loss of the season. And as always, guys, go hard on them dudes. Salute.